8. The Highland Towers. Highland Towers was a residential complex located in Taman Hillview, Ulu Klang, Selangor, Malaysia. It consisted of 3 12-story buildings or blocks that were built on a terraced hill between 1974 and 1982. The towers were home to affluent middle-class families, with a sizable percentage of the residents being expatriates. On December 11, 1993, the first tower of the Highland Towers apartment complex collapsed due to a major landslide caused by heavy rains that burst diversion pipes. The collapse resulted in 48 deaths. Residents of the other 2 blocks and neighboring establishments were evacuated due to safety concerns. It was a devastating event that shook the nation and left a lasting impact on the community. Today, Highland Towers is remembered as a cautionary tale of the importance of proper construction and maintenance of buildings. The tragedy led to a significant overhaul of building regulations in Malaysia, with stricter guidelines and more frequent inspections. The incident also highlighted the need for better disaster preparedness and response measures, which have since been implemented across the country. Since the tragedy, there have been reports of paranormal activity and ghost sightings in the vicinity of Highland Towers, especially after dark. Authorities determined that a combination of structural faults and soil erosion was to blame, but many people still think that a curse or haunting caused the buildings to ultimately fall. The assertions have attracted paranormal enthusiasts to the ruins, attempting to capture paranormal activity. Despite the tragedy and the rumors of paranormal activity, the memory of Highland Towers lives on in the hearts of many Malaysians. The site of the collapsed tower has since been cleared, and a memorial garden has been established in its place. The garden serves as a reminder of the lives lost and the lessons learned. 7. New Bedford Orpheum. The Orpheum is a historic theatre located in New Bedford, Massachusetts. It was originally built in 1912 by the French Sharpshooters Club of New Bedford as a ballroom and arms shooting range. The building was designed by Louis E. Destromps and was initially named the Majestic Opera House. The Orpheum was leased to the Orpheum Circuit of Boston, which brought a series of vaudeville and variety performers to the city. By the 1920s, the theatre had begun showing motion pictures as well. It was a popular venue for burlesque acts and silent movies, but it closed its doors in 1958-59 and was only opened for special events. Following its sale by the Sharpshooters Club in 1962, a tobacco firm utilized it as storage. The back of the theatre currently houses a supermarket, but the rest of the space is still empty. The Orpheum is said to be home to several ghosts, including the ghost of a young girl named Laura who died in a theatre fire. Visitors have reported hearing strange noises and seeing apparitions in theatres. Despite its haunted reputation, the Orpheum has been the subject of several restoration efforts over the years. In 2004, a non-profit company called ORPH, Orpheum Rising Project Helpers Inc., announced plans to bring back the theatre and revitalize the New Bedford economy. All the same, the theatre was put up for sale in 2012 after the company failed to raise the required money. 2019 saw the building put up for sale again after it had been sold in 2017. The Orpheum is a fascinating piece of history that's worth exploring if you're ever in the area. Who knows, you might even catch a glimpse of one of its ghostly inhabitants. 6. The Monte Cristo Homestead. The Monte Cristo Homestead is a historic homestead located in Dune East, New South Wales, Australia. It's known to be the most haunted house in all of Australia. The homestead was built in 1884 by Christopher Crawley, a wealthy man who farmed for pleasure. The homestead consisted of 2 houses, the first of which was built in 1876 and later became the servants' quarters, kitchen and dairy after Crawley built his Victorian 2-story home. The homestead has a dark history, with many of its former residents believed to still haunt the property. Mr. Crawley impregnated at least 2 of the family's maids, and his wife, Elizabeth, was described as hateful and cruel, ruling the house with an iron fist. Mr. Crawley died in 1910 from heart failure and blood poisoning caused by a boil on his neck, while Elizabeth became a recluse after his death. She transformed the above box room into a chapel, devoting herself entirely to her beliefs and the Bible. Before her death in 1933 from an appendix rupture, it's thought that she only left the home twice. The homestead is said to have over 10 ghosts haunting its rooms and grounds. Many of them are said to be Crawley family members. Visitors and staff have claimed to witness ghostly apparitions, hear disembodied voices, and experience inexplicable cold spots and sensations. Mrs. Crawley makes every effort to make visitors feel uncomfortable and terrorizes them until they leave. The homestead is said to be haunted by up to 10 troubled souls and poltergeists. Some remain unidentified, but others have a very strong link with the house and can be traced back through its troubled history. 5. The Anderlecht Veterinary School. The Anderlecht Veterinary School is a derelict veterinary complex located in Brussels, Belgium. The site's been abandoned since the 1990s, with all of its bizarre exhibits and creepy artifacts remaining. The last remaining unrenovated building out of the 19 that used to make up the complex, the Anderlecht Veterinary School, has stood deserted for decades. The school is composed of several buildings with beautiful architecture. They were all abandoned in 1991 when the school moved to Liège. The site is a set of 19 distinct houses, pleasantly separated by courts and gardens. All the facades are in Neo-Renaissance Flemish style. The Horror Labs, or the Veterinary School of Anderlecht, is the main attention of the complex. It's a room full of animal heads, brains, and assorted parts stuffed into jars throughout the building. Some parts are recognizable, some are not. Some are jammed together into larger jars. Some are sewn together, and we absolutely do not want to know why. The Horror Labs is allegedly a popular urban exploration destination, although anyone who wants to take a day trip to the Horror Labs is made of sterner stuff than we are. The site is said to be haunted by the spirits of the animals that were once treated there, as well as the ghosts of the people who worked and studied there. Visitors have claimed to witness ghostly apparitions, hear disembodied voices, and experience inexplicable cold spots and sensations. Would you want to check this place out? Tell us in the comments and hit subscribe while you're at it. 4. Bangar Fort. Bangar Fort, located in the Alwar district of Rajasthan, is often referred to as the most haunted place in India. The fort was built in the 17th century by Raja Bhagwan Das and was once a symbol of grandeur and architectural brilliance. However, today it stands as a silent and eerie reminder of the past, with the Archaeological Survey of India prohibiting visitors from entering the fort after sunset. The fort complex includes several temples, public chambers, and the royal palace. But it's the chilling legends associated with the fort that have earned it its haunted reputation. One such legend involves a local ascetic who cursed the fort after its shadow fell on his home. Another tale speaks of a black magician who, failing to win the affection of a princess using a love potion, cursed the fort with his dying breath. Despite these tales, officials and guides insist that the fort is not haunted. They argue that the prohibition of nighttime visits is due to the potential danger posed by wild animals. However, the lack of electricity and the unexplored ruins within the fort walls continue to fuel the mystery and intrigue surrounding Bangar Fort. While some visitors are drawn to the fort by the thrill of the unknown, others appreciate it for its historical significance and architectural beauty. Regardless of the truth behind the legends, Bangar Fort remains a captivating sight that continues to draw visitors from around the world. 3. Ringwood Mine. Ringwood, a densely populated wooded town in New Jersey, is known for its abandoned iron mines that predate the American Revolution. The mines, which started operation in 1740, eventually delved nearly 2,000 feet underground, chasing magnetic ore. Within these dark depths, miners reported hearing knocking sounds at irregular intervals. One of the most chilling tales from Ringwood Mines involves retired archaeologist Edward Lenning. While researching old mine trails in the mid-1990s, Lennick claimed to have seen a hand and an arm emerge from the water of a flooded mineshaft on Hope Mountain, only to disappear back down. This sighting was recorded in his book Iron Mine Trails, published in 1996. The mines are also associated with a tragic event. In 1963, a 15-year-old resident named Harry Van Dunk fell 50 feet into a mineshaft when a sinkhole opened under his feet. This incident, along with Lennick's experience, has contributed to the eerie reputation of the mines. Today, the Hassan Clever Iron Trail that once led hikers to Hope Mountain is blocked. The site lies near contaminated portions of the Ringwood Mine Superfund site, where Ford Motor Company dumped paint sludge and other industrial waste 50 years ago. This toxic legacy has added another layer of haunting to the mines. Despite the mine's haunted reputation and toxic contamination, the Ramapow Lunapee Turtle Clan continues to call Ringwood home. The landscape, which features iron mines, Native American rock shelters, and a forest, also contains a stew of different chemical toxicants from the former Ford manufacturing plant. This juxtaposition of natural beauty, historical significance, and environmental hazards makes the Ringwood Mines a uniquely haunting locale. 2. Waverly Hills Sanitarium. The Waverly Hills Sanitarium, perched atop a hill in Louisville, Kentucky, is a monument to a bygone era and a beacon for paranormal enthusiasts. Opened in 1910, the sanatorium was initially designed to accommodate 40 to 50 tuberculosis patients. However, as the disease ravaged the population, the facility expanded in 1926 to house over 400 patients. The sanatorium was more than just a hospital. It was a self-contained community. It had its own zip code, post office, water treatment facility, and grew its own food. This isolation was necessary to prevent the spread of tuberculosis, a highly contagious disease. Despite its noble purpose, the sanatorium was a place of immense suffering and death. It's estimated that tens of thousands of people died within its walls. The hospital officially closed in 1961, following advancements in tuberculosis treatment. Today, the sanatorium is renowned as one of the most haunted locations in America. Visitors and paranormal investigators report a multitude of unexplained phenomena. Shadowy figures, disembodied voices, and cold spots are commonly experienced, particularly in room 502. This room is infamous due to stories of a nurse who allegedly took her own life there. Several apparitions are said to haunt the sanatorium. A little girl is often seen playing in the third-floor solarium. A little boy, known as Timmy, is said to play with a leather ball. Perhaps most chilling is the spectral figure of a woman with bleeding wrists, seen crying out for help. The Waverly Hills Sanatorium, with its imposing architecture and chilling reputation, continues to intrigue and attract visitors from around the world. Its haunted history serves as a stark reminder of the battle against tuberculosis and the human lives that were lost in the process. 1. The St. Augustine Lighthouse. The St. Augustine Lighthouse, located on Anastasia Island in Florida, is a beacon of history and mystery. The current lighthouse, standing at 165 feet, was built between 1871 and 1874. However, the site has been home to a series of wooden watchtowers and beacons since 1565. The first official American lighthouse was established here in 1824. The lighthouse has witnessed significant historical events, from the colonization of the Americas to the 100 Years' War and the birth of a nation. It stood as a sentinel through plagues, power struggles, and the changing tides of history. Yet, it's not just the weight of history that lingers here. The St. Augustine Lighthouse is reputed to be one of the most haunted places in America. Visitors often report hearing the bell-like ringing of a little girl's laughter echoing down the spiraling staircase. A spectral woman is sometimes seen leaning over the railing of the catwalk, only to disappear when noticed. One of the most tragic tales associated with the lighthouse is that of the Pitti sisters. During the construction of the lighthouse in 1873, 3 girls, the daughters of the superintendent of lighthouse construction, drowned when a cart they were playing in overturned into the water. The only survivor was the youngest sister, Carrie. Today, some believe that the girls' spirits remain, their laughter echoing through the halls. The lighthouse is also said to be haunted by a man with a beard, and a man in a blue uniform, and a woman in white. These apparitions have been seen by employees and visitors alike. Despite its haunted reputation, the St. Augustine Lighthouse continues to function as a private aid to navigation. It's also home to the St. Augustine Lighthouse and Maritime Museum, which is open to the public almost every day of the year. The museum's mission is to discover, preserve, present, and keep alive the stories of the nation's oldest port. Whether you're a history buff or a paranormal enthusiast, the St. Augustine Lighthouse offers a fascinating glimpse into the past. Thanks for watching. Have you ever been inside a haunted building? Tell us about your experience in the comments below and remember to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.